So we are going to continue the wonderful world of review, your algebra days, and today, looking at equations of lines, we're going to spend our time graphing because what better way to celebrate Thanksgiving than to graph?
Yeah, we don't have Mitchell, and Mitchell's
right?
obsessed with
So, do you see the word Ra in there, which is the god of the sun in Egypt? And Egypt, of course, you have pyramids, which is triangle, and all related to the triangle, which sounds like Turkey. See, it's all related. All right, so what we're going to do is graph these, and it had nothing to do with anything, so don't worry. All right, so what we need here is when you meet somebody to go somewhere, you say, hey, meet me at Solomon Pond Mall, and we're going to go to the movies because you want to watch The Martian. So that's the same idea here. Every time we graph, we need a place to begin and figure out how to move, where we're going. So remember that this form right here is called slope-intercept form. And slope-intercept form is y equals mx plus b. Tell me y equals mx plus b. Or you can go village people and go y mx plus b. And you got it going on. So remember that b tells you where to begin. And m tells you how to move. According to this one, we can pull a Da Vinci Code here and pull out the information we need right here, right now. So where do I begin? I begin at a -4. In other words, my y-intercept is -4. Remember, that's a point. You don't have to write the point. You don't have to consider it. All we're saying is that the point is 0, -4. Just in case you forget that it's on the y-axis, not necessarily on the x-axis. And of course, this tells you how to move. It is a fraction. It tells you two things. It tells you that it's actually 3/4, which means two things. We go up 3 and right 1, or down 3 and left 1. Remember, a double negative is also a positive when we're dividing. So it doesn't matter which one you choose to follow the directions, whether you consider it in the positives or you consider the opposites of both. Whatever cranks your tractor, whatever floats your boat, whatever waxes your lip, there we go. So what we're going to do now is sketch real quick. I'm just going to take 12 seconds over here to sketch it and say, oh, I begin low and I go up 3, right 1, up 3, right 1. So it's pretty steep. So notice what I don't need. I don't need to spend a lot of time over here in quadrant number 2. But I do need to start. I have a lot in these quadrants here. So I might want to actually start my graph a little bit, not with crosshairs. So a lot of people like to do their graph like that. Oh, and they always just put the 0, 0, the origin right in the middle. But it doesn't have to. Notice again, I'm bottom heavy here, okay, like a pear. I need more stuff down here. So now I begin at -4. Oh, I need a scale. Make sure you have a scale. So at least put one number per axis. All right, so I'm going to put a 2 here and a -2 here. I can do more just to fill in, but please don't put every single number down. That really gets, it makes it too noisy, the graph here. So just put a few things down. That's fine in dandruff. So I begin at -4, and now we follow the instructions. I go up 3, right 1, 1, 2, 3, and then right 1, right there. So I plot that, and just so that we have it prettiness, I'm going to do it again. 1, 2, 3, 1, and there we go, 2 right there. What do you notice about all these points? They are linear or collinear. They're in a straight line. Notice how I go the other way. I go down 1, 2, 3, and left 1. Ah, sha, da, bine mulțumesc. And there we go. So now I just connect the dots, la, la, la. And make sure your lines are straight, unlike this one because I'm drawing it on a tablet. And there we go. Beautiful. So now, of course, where do we begin and how do we move on this puppy? So remember this form. Which form is this? Point, slope form. In other words, it tells me a point. And the point here, we have to always consider it's the opposite of what I see. So this is the x value. It's a -3. And this is the y value. It's the opposite of what I see. Why am I saying it's the opposite, by the way? It's because what value of y makes this 0? 2 makes this 0. What value of x makes this 0? Negative 3. So that's why effectively we just look there and take the opposite, because we're trying to zerofy that for whatever reason. All right, and then our slope. Oh, what's the slope? It's that hidden number right there. The slope here is 1, and how do we interpret that? It means up 1 and right 1, or down 1 and left 1. So we have a place to begin, negative 3, 2. If I just did a quick sketch here with the crosshairs in the center, negative 3, positive 2 is somewhere over here, and then I'm going in the up direction, right? So notice I don't need quadrants 3 and 4. So I'm going to do mine more like an upside down T, like this, and like that. Throw a few numbers down to make it good. 2, 4, negative 2, negative 2. All right, so where do I begin? At negative 3, positive 2, somewhere there. And now I go up 1, right 1, up 1, right 1. And now connect the dots, la la la. Yay, we did it. Right, so because we have the x all alone with no other variables, this is a vertical line whose slope is undefined. This is the muy easiest, muy fácil. Now notice I have to get all the way over to the x as being 6, right? So here's 2, here's 4, and here's 6. And I'll just throw a scale there as well. And all I have to do is plot the point at 6 and go vertical. And that's it. And there we go. Before we look at some more logic here, is something that people get confused on, but it's actually not too crazy. So this simple problem is asking us to find the two equations of a line, the vertical and the horizontal line that pass through this. Well, remember that if you have a point 2, negative 4, so 2, negative 4 is somewhere over in quadrant number 4. So here's a 2 and here's a 2. So 2, negative 4 is right there. So I want to find the vertical line that passes through that. Well, so all I have to do is draw a vertical line that passes through that. So it would be this line right here. Boom. And what's that one? Well, remember that's x equals whatever number is on the axis. And what about the y version? Well, the y's got to go through this right here. And that one is whatever the y value that goes through that axis. Now, we graphed it to show you all that, but do you even have to do any graphing in order to get those answers? Where do I get these from up there?